Well, good morning. Give me just a minute here. I'm still setting up a little bit. Just have to set this in there. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. And we'll be getting started here in just a minute. Just bear with me. Come on. Oh boy. Always all sorts of things come on here before you can look at your video here. Just give me a second. Hi, Michael. Can you hear me okay? That's my first question. Oops. The audio is great. Oh, okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Still trying to get my video up here on the screen. I wanted to test. I got a new microphone. I wanted to test it out today, and I thought I'd do a little turning while I was doing it. Come on. I'm getting nothing but the death roll on my screen right now. So what the heck? That's not what I wanted. Just a second. Let me get out of this. There we go. I'm not sure what went on. It kicked me completely out. Just a second. And manage videos. Oh no, I don't want to manage video. I want to watch the video. There we go. Okay. All right. Looks like we're on board. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to see. All right, good. All right, well, let me get my apron on. And we're going to do a couple things here. One, I thought I'd show you. This is where we are at on that pair that I was working on the other day. What do you think of this? That looked pretty nice. And I was most anxious to find out if this audio worked, because after the problems we had the other day, I said, I'm not going to go through that again. I'm going to get me a new microphone. We'll see if we can't get it to work better. So here I am getting, and then of course the live went live before I wanted it to go live. So here we are. So you got your sharpening system in. Good. That means that you're going to be working with really sharp tools. And now you got to really be careful. Because if you aren't, we're going to start calling you Four Fingers. or something along those lines. I guess, okay. Wow, there's 181 people in here and nobody's commenting. That's interesting. Well, folks, if you're in here, please comment. Say something. Be part of the team here. Don't want it to be just me and Michael talking. So this is the bowl I was turning the other day on the live. Right now it's got some tried and true on it. I'm letting that kind of dry for an hour, and then I'm going to wipe that out, and then I will let it set for 24 hours, and then I will buff it again, and we'll see how that looks. But it's got some beautiful color to it. I thought I'd just show you where we're at on that one, because sometimes we don't get a chance to finish everything on the live. This morning, I'm going to move my mic out here so you can hear me a little better, I hope. Well, that's not good. The clip came right off my microphone. There we are. It's a magnetic clip, so I think it's probably easier to put on the clip first and then attach it. There we go. There we are. Oh, that's even better. Okay. Hey, Luke. Hi, cool grandma. Cool grandma went in and out. I see. Okay. Earth flags. Earth Fraga. Hello. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, as the case may be. Okay, so what I've got here is a piece of cork oak, and this is the cork oak, and this is what you get your cork from for your bottles and all. And the other day I turned one, I left it in the square shape, and I went down. I took all the cork off. This time I thought I'd leave the cork live edged, and what I've done here is I used a hot glue system and to glue on, so I wasn't putting any holes in this, because this is going to be just turned from this side. It's not going to be turned from this bottom side at all. This is just the permanent bottom. Okay, this is going to be the top. And what you want to do when you do this is you want to put a little faceplate on a piece of wood, put it on here, true it up so it's nice and round and nice and flat as it can be. Okay. Then you take this and you glue it with some hot glue onto the surface of the wood, and then I always go around the outside with some hot glue also, just to make sure I get a really good fit. Now, it's only been on for about 20 minutes, but I'm going to assume it's mostly cured at this point. This is not a really heavy piece of wood, and it should hold no problem, because hot glue tends to cool off pretty quickly. So we're going to try and see if we can make this work. Yes, and please double tap the screen if you can, and give me a like. I'd appreciate that. Hi, yes. And let's get busy on this. Okay, this is just a short one today. We will be having a live tomorrow at about 10 o'clock Pacific time. But for now, I just wanted to kind of just do a little one, make sure that my microphone worked, and see if we can't just have a little fun today. This is what I do in my shop on the days you're not around, is I'm looking at pieces of wood and thinking, what can I do for them? And this little thin piece of wood this morning kind of caught my eye. Now, we always spin it first, make sure that we're clear of everything. Nothing's going to hit, okay? And we are going to be taking off some of the outside part. We are going to be taking off some of this outside part here. We're going to change how this is. We're not going to have a winged bowl this time. So, oops. Sorry about that shaking. Sorry about that shaking. I'm going to see if I can't square that away a little bit. In fact, let me move you to a different holder so you're not shaking on there. Hang on a second. See if I can do this without too much trouble on your part. Okay. Let me see if I can do this. The key with doing this is to do it without banging everything else around while you're doing it. So there we go. We'll put you in here like so. And let's kind of watch it from this angle. Okay. We'll kind of do it like this morning, see how that goes. So all right. Obviously we need to go in the middle here. And you're taking out some of that cork. I know you can't see that part of it, but let me kind of move this around here. That's missing that. Okay. Do a little bit better angle on this. And as you take it off, you got to move your tool rest in so you're not hanging too far out over the edge. There we go. Getting pretty close around here. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to round all the way around. Good. And this is going to be a little bit interesting. I think. It's very soft because it's mostly bark. Okay. So I'm going to move you over to this, to this side here, so that you can get a good angle at what I'm turning. There we go. Doesn't want to cooperate too much this morning. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, that's about the best I'm going to get right now. Hi, Peter. You seem to like to say hi a lot. Habib, Raymond, good morning. Michael, when are we going to go over your sharpening system? Hopefully we can do that soon, huh? Maybe we can do a little bit more on that today here, since it was kind of screwed up the other day when you were trying to do it. Let's see, am I in the center? Okay. See if we're clear. We are. Okay. Gonna get this. Gonna get the cork out of the way and try to find where the wood is. Okay, we're finding some wood. That's good. There's obviously going to be a little more wood here. As you can see, it comes up higher here than it does down here. Let's kind of establish an outside on this, if we can. This is going to be a very quick turn, I think. And I think I'm going to change gouges. I'm going to change gouges because I want to do a little bit of delicate work here, I think. So this is all cork, And I got to try to get down to where I'm at, not going through the bottom, but I'm at oak all the way across the bottom. So that's going to be a little bit of a tricky mode here. Let's see. For the moment, I'm going to try and use a carbide only because I think I can be kind of delicate with the carbide. Yeah. And try and scraper, but I'm probably going to have to go to a scraper. Right now I'm getting a lot of tear out, which is why I wanted to go to the scraper instead of the gouge. And I want to try and make this as thin as I can also on the outer edge. So I think we're gonna come up here and take out a little more. I have to really hold this tight because there's a gap, and I'm also going between cork and oak as it goes down. Let's see where we're coming out on this. There's a little tear out there because it is just the edge of the wood. We're right on the edge of this bowl here. We're a little bit over on this side, a little bit more here. I might be able to do a little bit more on the outside. It may still be slightly oval and I'm not seeing it. Obviously, we've got some room here. go down a little bit more. You can really tell when you're in the oak itself, it curls up really nicely. That's the wood part as opposed to the bark part. But we are getting oak all the way out to here now, so that's good. And it's still, well, there's still quite a bit to go actually. Maybe not in the middle so much. I'm going to try my my negative rake scraper here for a second, just because I sharpened it yesterday and I wanted to kind of see how it works in here. It's very good for smoothing things out at the end. It's amazing how solid that this part feels. Nice and hard and solid feeling. I can use my scraper too. You don't want to have an overly aggressive tool at this point. We don't want to take off too much and go, oops, we went in the center. What we went through. We have a window instead of a bowl. This one might be a little bit large. Go with a smaller one. When you get over to the cork, how it changes the whole cutting approach. And with the cork being so soft, it can gouge in really quickly. Okay. We're nice and thin on this edge here. I'm going to go back and do the outside edge, I think, a little bit more just to see if I can't smooth that up a bit. And then we're going to have to sand it, of course. Just a little bit of a hump in the middle there, so I think I can taper that down just a bit. Okay, nice and smooth. That feels pretty good. I think we're down to a reasonable size there. Let's go on the outside, do a little bit of trimming, and we'll see where we are. Now it looks pretty even, but we'll see what we can do here. Maybe the scraper here might help just a little bit. Okay, now I got really sharp edges here. Okay. Good. I think that looks pretty good. It's a little bit, just a little bit of a hump there. A little bit. See if I can get that hump out of there. It just bothers me, okay? That's all I can say. It just bothers me a little bit, so I'd rather get it out of there if I can. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll sand the rest of that out, but I think that just got that little bit of hump out of there. Just wanted to get it off. Just because I don't like to try and force it out later. What are we looking at here? Hey, Robert. Hey, Chase. Good to see you both. I'm sure Chase is working hard and he's just listening to me in the background. Hey, Sherry. How you doing? Good to see all of you. Okay, we're going to switch to sanding now. Now we've cleaned out this little bowl. This is just a little trinket bowl. And you see it only took like 10, 15 minutes to turn it out. Now, see if I can sand this out a little bit. This has some stuff on it. I gotta take that off. Don't like to use sandpaper that's got some gunk on. I was fixing a couple little things on that pear bowl, and I think I got some of that finish on there. We'll put a new sanding. There we go. Okay. There we are. I'm going to have to kind of put my sander right there on the very edge. And I know I'm going to lose just a little bit. I got to be very careful. There. I'm going to turn this on. And I'm going to try something with my microphone for a second. So just bear with me here. I'm going to put the... there. Now it should have the noise reduction on there, and hopefully that's a little better than the noise you were hearing before. When I turn this on, it should cut out some of the noise reduction, hopefully. As I get my fan going here. We don't need to over sand this either. We just want to kind of make sure everything's nice smooth feeling, but we don't need to overdo it. There's a little spot. You get a little attention. And this is, I would say, slightly green piece. It's probably not too green at this point. It's a very small piece, and most of it is dried off, I'm sure, but there is a little bit of green wood to this. I want to get a finish on this, make sure it doesn't crack anywhere. It shouldn't, but you never know. You never be 100% sure when it comes to cracking. Let me turn that on. Now, I did not completely sand off and flatten the back side of this before starting it. I can do that on a regular sander later if I need to flatten it out a little bit after I get the glue off and everything. I'll finish that off with a little palm sander. Okay, yeah, that really smooths out that back side a bit. There we go. Yeah, it's got some little saw marks and stuff, but that's okay. That just gives it a character. So we're going to do that. We're going to do probably just switch to the 240 grit. I'm going to turn it in reverse for a second. Get some of it in the reverse stage. Okay. This is skull. This is the skull. All right, you ready? Hey, Josh. Hi, Walter, Alberto, Shlomo, Antonio, Scott. Welcome all in, and please feel free to comment. You know, tell us where you're from. It'd be interesting to find out where you all are from. This time of day, we get people from all over the world. We get people from Kenya and South Africa, and we get South America. Sometimes we get Europe a lot, and Asia. I'm always interested to hear where you all are from. So kind of let us know, huh? It's a big community, and if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. We do these lives every week. We do lives every week, but we do especially a live every Thursday. That's our one commitment. But we usually do one or two others during the week. Sometimes they're surprise, sometimes they're announced. This one was kind of a surprise one. I just felt like going live and trying out my microphone and turning this little bowl and seeing how everybody was doing. Tomorrow we're expecting an inch of rain, and I'm out here in California. And anytime you get an inch of rain, that's like about 10% of our entire rainfall for the year we're going to get in one afternoon or one day. So it's a possibility we might get knocked off the air tomorrow because of power outages and storms and all that. But we plan on being live tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific time, and so please feel free to join us. We're going to be turning. Well, I'll show you what we're going to be turning here in just a minute. But I think this is sanded enough for this because it is a rugged piece in the first place. It doesn't need to be fine sanded. It has to be nice to the touch. So we're going to put a little of our juice on here. After I shook it up good. Okay. Keep that moving so it doesn't drip off. There we go. And we're going to get in there. And we'll get into all the nooks and crannies because there's a lot of crannies on this thing. A lot of nooks. It's all this bark in here is going to be just sucking this stuff up as I go. So, and we want to make sure that we do get a good finish that sticks to that binds that cork to the oak. And so we need to make sure that it gets in there and hardens and holds that together so it doesn't split out later on. So there's the outside, or there's the inside, I should say, of our bowl. And we'll start doing the outside here. And this is a rather neutral oil that I use. I use a tung oil with a mixture of a couple other things in here, and I like it because it doesn't darken the wood. However, it does bring out some of the darkness in the wood. When you have a dry piece, it will get darker because it was dry, but it's really not changing the color of the wood. Some of the finishes that you get tend to change the entire look of the wood sometimes. I don't really like to do that. So here we are, getting in that crevices, because that'll just get in there and harden. It'll harden up this oak so it doesn't break off all the when somebody buys this. This will be for sale, some craft show or something that I do. Or if somebody wants this, they can always contact me. My in my description there is an address, or my channel there's an address, an email address that you can contact me at if you want to. If you have any urge to purchase something that you see me turn here, I don't actually have a sales page or anything like that. Not on Etsy or any of those things. Because I turn because I like to turn. It's what I do. It's something I enjoy doing, and I enjoy letting others watch me do it. So there we are for the moment. I'll let that kind of soak in for just a second or two. See what you guys are writing over here. Well, I wouldn't call myself a professional, Abraham. I'm just let's call me experienced, okay? Um, Mike, you're still lurking in the background, okay? Saraf and Josh in Kentucky. Hey, how you doing in Kentucky there? You have a beautiful state with a lot of nice hardwoods around you. I'm assuming. Uh, we have a lot of Turner friends in our group here that are from Ohio and West Virginia and North Carolina and all through those areas. So yeah, I appreciate the kind words though. Thank you very much. So besides Kentucky, what else we got out there? Robert, I know where you are. Let's see. Yeah, it's already starting to dry off. Sucking that in pretty good. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, I'm going to go get the piece of wood that we're going to be turning tomorrow. I'm hoping I can get it all set up. This is a big piece. This is the big brother to the piece you see there today. This is a big piece, and it's got a couple of interesting pieces to it because it's got this indentation here. I'm not sure what that's going to do when I go to turning it. I'm trying to avoid it getting into too much cracking because it is kind of live. We will turn this as I don't think we're going to turn this as a live bolt. I'm still kind of debating whether I want to make this a live bowl turn or not. And mostly what's making me wonder about it is this right here, because if I turn it with this side as the top, that could become an issue. Sorry, let me get that out of the way. That could become an issue. And if it isn't, I'm just worried this is a knob. This is a knob where it made an impression. Another branch came out of here eventually, I think, from right about here. And it just presents some problems. If I turn it the other way, so this is the top, and I'm going to be cutting away all of this. We're going to end up with a bowl about this big, roughly. And it may not have as much character to it. So I'm kind of still debating that a little bit. What do you think? You guys want the live top? Want the live cork top, or do you want the underside? Which would you like? I'll let you guys decide right now for tomorrow's turning. What do you think? I'll wait to see if there's a couple responses. Okay, this is dry. That's dry. I'm going to give it a second coat, and then we're going to take it off of here. Well, you guys mull it over while I'm doing the second coat here. Let me know what you think. You want me to do another live edge with this one tomorrow, or do you want me to turn it into a larger bowl because I'm not trying to save the live edge? We did a big bowl last week, and for those of you that didn't see it, I'll show you here in just a couple minutes what it looks like. It was a pear bowl, and it's really nice. I've also got a piece of cypress I'm getting ready to line up again too. I know you guys like it when I turn the cypress, and this is I think my last piece of cypress, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll use that as a big finale, so to speak. But here we go. Just trying to get in those nooks and crannies again. Let it sit in there. Okay. This smells really good because I mix it with some limonene, which is a citrus oil. So it really smells good when you put that on. Well, I haven't seen anybody. Hi, Kovacs. I haven't seen anybody comment, so I'm going to just assume that you're not sure either. But I think I might have to core through this, put a 10 on the other side. I'll try it. I'll try and do a live edge tomorrow with this, and we'll see what we can do. No promises yet, but I'll see if I can do that. Let me show you the this needs to be wiped out soon. But this is the this is the bowl that I did the other day. I'm gonna back it off just a little bit so you can see it. This is the pear bowl. You can see got some beautiful color in there. That color just goes. Pear just really has some beautiful coloring in it. Anyway, this has been sitting with some tried and true on it, and I will be buffing this off in a few minutes and out just to get it cleaned up. Let's see. Let me put this over here for now. Okay, so we're going to take this off. We'll wipe off the excess. There really isn't much, but I'll wipe off the excess. And we'll take this off, and you can. There we go. And now you can see the bowl. I'll bring it up here. This is what it looks like. And that's what we turned in just a few minutes. That didn't take long at all. There's that glue that I will, after it's dry, this is dried up a little bit, and the oil has gotten into the wood and hardened a little bit. I'll go back and I will take a heat gun to this, and the heat gun will release the glue. Then I can peel it off. I can sand the back, and I can use this again for another turning later on. So that's the basis of how you use one without using any screws or anything. Most important thing on this is to make sure that you mount this with screws that don't go through the wood. Okay, mount it so it doesn't go through the wood. and then take that wood and put it on your lathe and round this out so it's perfectly round, perfectly flat on the bottom, so that when you go to attach these things, you're not getting a wobble when you're turning and so forth. It goes perfectly centered. So that's the only tricks to that, and it really using a glue faceplate combination really does work on very thin pieces of wood. Just so you can see some kind of a difference between them. This is one that we turned a week or so ago, and this one had a mitered inside tenon on it, but as a bigger pieces, and I love that hole there. These bigger pieces you can do, like a normal bowl, and a thinner piece. Now, this is just as thin as the other one was, and in this case, I kept it square, and I turned the bowl on the inside, left the bottom like this. This one did not have as much oak to work with. It had a lot of cork, so that's why I chose to do that this way. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Just read the wood and see what you think is going to work best. Plan before you get in there a little bit. It's not always going to work when you plan, but at least it gets you a running start for that. So that's all I really had planned for this morning. I wasn't going to do a really long video or anything like that. But hi, Jeff, and hi, Jerry, and hi, Daniel, and Victor. And hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Oh, there was one other little thing. I'm sorry, I was going to do. Because it wasn't working the other day, I was going to show you how I do use the sharpening system. So I'm going to do this one more time because the sound was off the other day, and some people were asking. Now, everybody has their own grind. So I'm going to move you over here next to my grinder. Okay, like so. And everybody has their own grind that they do on their gouges. And you can see this gouge right here. Okay. This one happens to be a 55-degree grind. And what I've done is I did a color chart, and I made out the different angles, and then I made out how I set it up to do that. And this is the one-way or Wolverine grinding system, which is very common, very popular. I use this from Ron Brown, which is kind of useful because you set it in here and you set it at a certain point and you'll get that exact same setup every time. You just move this in and out to decide where it goes. Another way of doing that is with the Raptor system. This is one of the Raptor keys. And as you can see, it has the 2 points here. And when you put it in here, you put the base in there, you put these here. And if I move this back out, it'll slide so that this one touches and I'll be at a 60-degree angle precisely. So it's just a matter of what system you want to use. You can make your own. You can use just a block of wood and measure it out. But this is the system that I do. Now, on mine, it says if I want a 55-degree angle, well, first of all, it's color-coded green. So I know that it's my 55-degree angle. I put this in here, and I'm going to be at 55 degrees. The other thing that I need to do is I need to attach this. This is part of that grinder system. So what we do is we run that through, and I have a thing here that I built that gives me exactly 2-inch extension from here, from the base here to the end of the point of the tool is exactly 2 inches every time. There's a little penny in there that keeps it from going through, and I use that system. And I'm going to turn this just slightly. And when I turn this on, I place this down in this pocket, and I bring this down. I should be right at the same 55-degree angle that I'm always at. And I can turn it like so. And you keep your one hand right here, controlling that. and then back over this way. And I have an extra long side on mine, so I make sure that I get a good grind all the way down. And that quickly, we've got a brand new sharp grind. Just back and forth a couple times, that's it. And if I want to do the base, I can also do the base. I can put it up here like this, and I can change. I can give it a second bevel on the base. Like so. And that second bevel just makes it a little bit easier when you're going down through the bottom of a bowl. Just kind of slide in there with that second bevel. Should make it a little bit bigger, but that was just for demonstration purposes. You also notice that mine are asymmetrical, which means that this one is a little bit higher than this one side. And that's done by when you're doing your angles this way and just deciding how big of an extension you want out from your blade. You want to do it just slightly at an angle. And what that does, that allows me when I'm doing a shear cut, this is in front and this is not getting in the way. I'm not double grabbing it when I'm doing a shear cut across the bowl. So, or a scraper cut. So that's, now just to show you the difference, if you used, this one obviously has a much shorter nose, as you can see. It's not out to a point. It is also asymmetrical, a little curved, but and it is a much different angle. So when I have these two different, I would have to have a different setup on this one. So this one has a different color. This one's blue to show me it's a different angle color cover. And so I have slightly different angles, slightly different approaches to the wood. This one is really good at going in and coming around in the inside of a hole. So I use this one quite frequently. And then, of course, there's all your other sharpening, like your skews and scrapers and so forth. The only thing that I can really say that is really good here is use a low-speed grinder. I also recommend these CBN wheels. They will last a lifetime, basically. And they are diamond penetrated, and they will last you a long, long time. So that's just my quick review of some of the things I do for my sanding, my sharpening system. And of course, when I have other tools like this, for instance, the skew. Now this, I can do it on the grinder partially, but I also take it over to my grinding stones, and I will sharpen a grinding stone much like you do with a chisel. And I will give it a nice finish at about 3000 grit. And that way it's got a very nice sharp razor type edge. And it can do some very fine work with that. So in fact, I'm working on making one of my tools into a curved one. So right now, so I'm going to see how that works. But anyway, if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us. We will be here tomorrow. So thank you very much. And for now, I'll say goodbye. And thanks for joining us for this little video today.